Planning your destination wedding? Think you found a travel advisor to work with? Let's talk about that. Okay, so last week we talked about how to find a travel advisor or a few people, whatever you want to do, to work with in planning your destination wedding. Now this week what I want to talk about is if you have found one or two people and you're not sure which one, some questions you can ask a travel advisor to make sure they're perfect for you. So the first thing you want to ask them is, what's the benefit of working with you? So, what are the services you provide? How can you help me find a resort? Talk to me about your process. What about, can you get me any perks? What about prices? What do you know about the resorts? So you want to find out what is the benefit of working with that travel professional to help you plan your wedding. Now, once you feel confident that that person maybe is so far a good fit for you, the next question I think you want to ask them is, are there any costs, expenses, or fees that you're going to charge me to work with you? Now, let me talk to you about what I've seen with us as vacationees, plus with friends of mine in the business and other people I meet at conferences. Most experienced travel advisors will charge a planning fee. Now, I've heard planning fees from a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 depending upon what they're doing. In our case, we may charge between $500 to $2,000. If you're planning a wedding in Italy, and there's a lot of various components we have to worry about, it's going to be more than if you're planning a wedding, say, in Mexico. Now, in some cases, specifically with us as vacationers, we don't charge any fees. So it really depends on the services you need. I would say most of my friends in the business, if you are a bride and groom and you need us to help you find a group of resorts that meet all this criteria, you have all these dreams, you have certain food requirements, if we need to help you find the resort, check out the availabilities on the resort, check out if they have the rooms that you want, then there's probably going to be a fee. Other than that, there typically is not any additional fees in helping your guest book the rooms or anything like that. Again, in our case at Vacationees, if you come to me and say, hey Jack, here's a resort that I've fallen in love with, let me know if you think it's perfect for me, and I go, hey, that's a great resort, we don't charge any fees for anything going forward. So I think you do want to ask them, are there fees involved, so you don't get surprised later on where there's some pop-up fees after you've already signed an agreement with them. One of the other things I think you want to ask them is, what is your experience with destination weddings? Just because a travel agent or a travel advisor says they do destination weddings, or they say they've been in the travel business for years, you want to make sure they actually have done destination weddings. Just because someone can plan a trip to Disney or book a cruise does not mean that they have knowledge and the ability to do destination weddings. So you want to ask them, how many years have you been doing destination weddings? You can ask them how many they do a year. Is there a specific area or destination that they really specialize in? Are there different types of weddings that they specialize in? So you want to get a sense of their experience, because again, you're going to trust them to, one, help you find the host resort or destination, and two, you're going to give them the ability to work with you and all your friends and your guests and helping them plan their trip, which is in essence planning a vacation. So you just want to make sure they have experience in dealing with groups of people and also know the various resorts and destinations that you are thinking about for your destination wedding. Now let's follow up on, do they have the experience? So as you're asking them about their experience, I'm sure everybody's going to tell you how long they've been in business. But if you have an interest in a given place, let's just say Cancun, Riviera Maya, what you want to say to them is, do you know the resorts? Tell me your favorite resort, family friendly, adults only, whatever you're thinking, in Cancun, Riviera Maya, and why that is your favorite resort. Now, as they tell you about it, get a sense, are they just reading from a website, or does it sound like they've been there? And you can ask, have you stayed at this resort? When was the last time you've been in this destination? Have you attended any destination weddings in this destination wedding, in this destination? So you want to get a sense not only of their vast travel experience, but their experience and knowledge in the location that you're looking for help with. And the reason I say this is because I think part of our job in the travel industry of helping you plan your wedding is identifying a group of resorts to propose to you that are a good fit for you and your guests for your wedding. And again, the best way to do this is actually experiencing these things. I always tell guests, my goal is, when you're working with us, that if the first time you walk into that resort is a couple days before your wedding, that in working with us you should feel like you've been there, because we've talked about the restaurants, we've talked about the activities, you know the brands of alcohol that you're looking for at the bars, we've gone over the venues for your locations, you know about anything special about water parks or an activity you should do. So you really want to make sure when you talk to a travel advisor that you feel as though that they have experience not just in one resort, because you don't want someone just proposing one resort to you, that they know a group of resorts that they can propose to you, and you should ask them questions. What is the difference between this resort and that resort? And that's something they're not going to get from just looking at a website. It's going to be based upon experiencing these resorts. Okay, so let's go on the premise that now you feel comfortable that they know the resorts, they know the destination, they're going to be helpful in finding you or helping you find a resort for your destination wedding. Then you want to also ask them is, what is their knowledge of the wedding process at the resort or resorts that they're proposing to you? Do they know the wedding packages? Can they walk you through them to help guide you as to which one is the best? Do they know the locations at the resort? I always tell brides that there are certain locations the resorts publish in their websites, or they will send you PDFs, and they look great in one dimension. But if you could pull back and look at those locations, you would go, oh my gosh, that's in the middle of the resort. Everybody's looking down on me, but it looks so beautiful on Instagram. And it's not until you walk in there that you're like, everybody's going to be sitting on their balcony watching me get married. So I think you want to make sure that they have the intimate knowledge of the wedding portion of the experience as well as the resort experience. Now, you feel very comfortable with them knowing the resort and vacation experience. You feel comfortable with them knowing the wedding experience and the process. So now the question to them should be, what is your process in dealing with my guests? Okay, let me tell you what I find most travel advisors, most brides. So the first thing is, and I'll just tell you more about in terms of vacations, we will build a website, and I think most of our competitors, most of the friends I have that are competitors, do the same thing. We'll build a website. It'll provide all the information for your guests. Remember, our goal is to alleviate the stress on you, right? In the travel business, that's one of the things we want to do, so that we don't want your guests calling you. You want them contacting us, and we will provide that website. Now, the other thing you want to do is find out what is your preferred means of communication. Is it email? Is it phone? Is it FaceTime? Is it Zoom? Is it text? Because the key that I find anymore is that everybody wants to communicate in a different manner, right? Some people want to email you, don't call me. Some people actually want to get on the phone and call you. I mean, the funny thing is that when you're getting with folks my age and grandmoms, they want to talk on the phone if they're going to give someone a credit card. Or they want to make sure that they get questions answered that they may not see on the custom website we build. So again, you want to ask that travel professional, what is your preferred means of communication? Because as the bride and groom, you may have a thought on what your preferred means is for you and your guest. You also want to find out how they're going to communicate with you and what type of reporting will they provide to you, because you want to be kept up to date with a rooming list, or know when the dates of penalties are, or when payments have to be made, or when flight information has to be provided, or how you can customize what if you want to upgrade your room. So I think the communications is very, very important, because again, it reduces the stress on you and makes your guests feel more comfortable about going to your wedding. My last thought on this is something I covered in my last video of how to find a travel professional. But again, you may want to ask these questions. You can ask them about the reviews or references. I've had brides ask me to talk to other brides we've worked with. Some past brides don't feel comfortable with this. If you're watching my YouTube channel, you can look through periodically. I will actually interview past brides, which I think is much better, and ask them real life questions about, what did they spend? What was their experience with the resort or with us? So again, you can ask about that stuff, but if you feel comfortable when you're talking with that travel professional and you've seen reviews on Wedding Wire or The Knot, they kind of summarize that, but sometimes people have an interest in a specific resort and what's a real life experience. Look, I don't have a problem connecting our new potential clients with past clients. It's the question, will those past clients actually get on the phone or FaceTime or text you and talk to you? So these are my thoughts on some questions that as you're working with a travel professional or interviewing someone, you may want to ask. You can find the perfect travel professional to help you find a resort for your destination wedding, manage your guest experience, and hopefully make planning a destination wedding a stress-free and amazing once-in-a-lifetime process. Thanks for watching my videos.